Hello, 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 hello. This is Rhapsody, your friendly neighborhood growth hacker, aka the Reverend Dr. Rhapsody, aka Mr. Transformer, aka Rhapsody Barrero. Okay, so what I decided to do, just to help grow the channel, help get the word out, and help some people along the way, is I just figure, instead of, I know you're supposed to, some people say that, supposed to do at least one video consistently a week. I mean, that's like the bare minimum. Because I think Gary Vee does something like 10 videos a day, but he has a team, he has a crew. Here, it's just moi, El Cid, El Capitan, Oh Captain, My Captain, if you will, from Dead Poet Society. Love that movie. And yeah, lots of good stuff in there. Okay, so I decided to just make a video whenever I think about making a video because, I mean, after almost 4 decades in personal development, I've got good stuff just floating around in my head all day long, every day. And since everybody didn't have time or didn't make time to spend 40 years or almost 40 years in personal development, helping themselves grow, this is my little way of helping them along. Because as it's been said, that's one of the reasons for getting a mentor or getting a coach. Because what you do is, it's called compressing time. Just like you compress time by reading a book, so that way, in however long it takes you to read the book, you can get, if you're doing an autobiography, you can get a compressed version of that person's life, somebody great, somebody wonderful, somebody awesome, somebody doing something or having done something that you thought was particularly interesting or that you thought was particularly impactful for your life. And this is what I'm out to do, putting forth content that is impactful for your life. So today's, I was going to say, today's addiction. Okay, no, really. But today's topic, addiction. Yes, addiction. Holy frickin' cow. And it's amazing, it's odd, it's weird, it's strange. It's just one of those things. I mean, okay, for those who don't know, I myself personally have been away from a drink or a mood or mind altering substance for almost 40 years. And I have been away from smoking cigarettes regularly for about 35 years. So I've got some history behind kicking an addiction with help from people who have gone before me, who have done the thing, and just following the same steps, if you will, of the people who have gone before me and done the thing. So, as I say, you would think with all of this history of fighting the battle of addiction and winning, that addiction is no longer a thing. Not so. I mean, okay, at one time I had a really bad porn addiction, and, well, okay, let's see. Um, no, okay, I'll say that story for some other time. Maybe I'll probably say it again anyway, because one thing that I've learned when you're doing a talk or when you're talking to people, and if you get something that drops into your head, you're supposed to share that. It's not about shaming yourself, it's about helping the other person. So, having said that, of course, I'm going to share the thing that I said I wasn't going to share. One time while I was in the military, I had not a rash, we'll call it a dry area on my main member. Well, it's not my main member. My brain is my main member. My other member, it had a dry area. And I came clean with the doctor and said, yeah, I've been masturbating a lot. And He gave me some bacitracin to fight the whatever bacteria might have been causing the dry area or the rash, if you will. So the way that I like to explain the story is that, so thanks to the doctor, I got government-sponsored lube. It's not really lube because you can't really use it with another person because that might injure them. That's bad. Okay. I was not at all meaning to cover that. But here we go. No. But further on, later on the porn addiction side, at one point, I was so addicted that I remember I would start viewing some porn at some point in the evening. And at some point later on in the time, I would look over at the window and see that the sun was coming up. I was like, oh, I've been busy for a very long time. And if that wasn't bad enough, actually this other one was the one that like kind of like made the light go off in my head. Like, okay, this is too much. I was starting to get the sensation after days passing from these porn binges, from these masturbation binges. I was getting the sense that I had actually had sex with a woman. Now, I've had sex with a woman in the past, so I knew what it felt like, but it's not the same when it's just you and your memory does something with the information. Especially, more new information. Okay. The growth of the human brain, there's a reason that they don't want young people to watch porn on the internet. So the reason for that, it turns out, is that since young people's brains are still growing, it's like the images from the internet or from screens are just like having a greater effect on their brain. And that could very possibly be why the majority of men under 30 haven't had sex yet. Yeesh. Frightening. But that's just, how powerful this stuff can be. It's it's like worse than like, back in the day, back when I lived in New York and we could just like, buy Hustler or Playboy or Screw magazine at the local newsstand and they'd sell it to you because if you had the money for it, they'd just give it to you because they're trying to make money. But with modern technology being what it is, it's very, 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 very bad for children, for teens, because their brains are just developing. Okay, anyway. And I've only gotten to the second keyword in a whole paragraph of stuff that I'm thinking about talking. Well, we'll get to everything because it needs to be gotten to. Because I wrote down notes because this stuff is too important to miss. So I made it a point this time, first time ever, me making a video with notes because I normally do that. Normally I just go off the dome, and it's usually decent, but I don't know, it's like there was so much stuff I was like, I need to write this down. Okay, all right, so on the topic of addiction, getting back to that, I'm sitting here before you with a piece of 2-week-old birthday cake that I'm about to consume with some black tea. And it's a combination of, yes, I've been doing 1,000 milligrams of MSM every 12 hours. So yes, my sugar addiction has pretty much been killed off. However, the challenge being, circling back around to the previous video of that morning, as an 8-year-old, I'm standing in line with my great-grandmother to get government cheese and government peanut butter. To be broke at that level that young, it's like, it scars you a little bit. I guess for some people it helps them. For me, it helps me to not throw away food. And sometimes, I pay for it with my body, and it's unfortunate because, the thing is, it's weird because I have cash in my pocket, I have a card with money on it, I have two cards that are soon to have money on it, so I could literally go to the store and buy fresh food. Yet, if there's food that has been here sitting for a minute, it's like if it's regular food, it's got to have mold on it or it's got to smell really bad for me to throw it away. Otherwise, my head says, you can't throw that away because 8-year-old Rhapsody, or Michael as I was back then, another story, uh, would have really enjoyed having that at the time. I mean, I remember at one time we were running so light that I had a condiment sandwich. Let's see, it was Baco's, which is a vegetable product that looks like bacon. Baco's, ketchup, mustard, I think mayonnaise, because I know there was 4 things. Anyway, I digress. So, I had the compunction to eat old food as a result of that experience. And now that's actually a great example leading into the next thought of something I'm always telling people about. And it isn't until I brought this out to share with you that I made the connection to myself. There's a difference between being broke and being poor. Broke can be fixed. Broke is just a lack of money. Broke is just a lack of resources and action to get you to be not broke. Poor is a mindset. So, the eating old food, that's a poor mindset. I really, 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 really ought to work on that. Or maybe start a foundation for traumatized adult children who eat old food because they can't bring themselves to waste it. I'm sure that somewhere along the line, probably 10 years down the road, somebody's going to think of that and go ahead and do it. Or they'll watch this video and go ahead and do it. And I'm like, go ahead. But I'm not big on making money off of a sob story, especially since I can use any one of a number of coaching modalities from the Magnetic Mind Masterclass to remove the limiting belief on food. The thing is, and that's true, but I have a policy that actually ties into what most people do as the norm. And it's simply that I will not change until I'm tired of seeing something the way it is, knowing that I can change it, and then I'll change it. So like I say, not unlike other human beings, the rule of thumb is we do not change until the pain to change is less than the pain of staying the same. That reminds me of a story. Oh, man. So there was this guy interviewing this really old guy, country dude, just sitting on his porch, kicking back. He'd done something great in his life, so this guy came to interview him. And while the news person is there interviewing the old guy, there's this dog sitting on the other end of the porch. And they're going through the interview, and every now and then, the dog will just whine and wince and go, "Arr!" And the news person just let it go on for a while and, just half paid attention to it, but was trying to focus on the interview. And finally he asked him, hey, why is that dog making that noise? And the old guy turns to the news person and says, well, he's laying down on a nail. And so the news person says, well, why doesn't he just move off of the nail? To which the old guy says, well, I guess it doesn't hurt him enough. And that's how we are. We will not change until the pain to change is less than the pain of staying the same. Period. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. That's just like, it's like in our DNA or some crap. I don't even know how it got there. Oh my goodness. Yowza, yowza, yowza. And some would say, Rhapsody, why do you choose to bare your soul to the world? To share all your dirty, filthy laundry? To take away whatever crust of awesomeness that they thought you might have had and show that, like, he's not really that awesome? Okay? And the answer is simple. I am a huge, big, phenomenal proponent of authenticity. I've been told that of late, authenticity is the new currency of our age. Fortunately for me, not unlike this old country song, I was authentic when authenticity wasn't cool. But it's cool now. So it's okay. It's more socially acceptable. Either way, I actually don't care, because that's the beauty of being comfortable in your own skin. You do enough work, you get comfortable in your own skin. There's literally nothing anybody can say to you that's going to upset you, that's going to throw you off your game, that's going to take you off your focus that much, really. I mean, like growing up in school, I used to get all kinds of grief about having a flat face or having a big nose. And that would just ruin my day. That would have ruined my week because, I was 10. I didn't have a self-image. And I, grew up in a single-parent household. Even though I had access to my father, I mean, some weekends I would just, because in New York you've got bus passes and train passes if you get them for going to school. And I would just literally just up and go see my dad over a weekend just because I was bored or it was raining and I didn't have anything to do. And I knew that, I'd be able to get into something hanging out with him. Oy. So, authenticity. Very important. I always say I would sooner deal with a hard truth than a soft lie any other day, any day of the week, and twice on Sunday. It's just how I roll. I will take an ugly truth over a pretty lie every single time. Okay, so we're back to addiction. We never really left. So, yeah. Oh, yeah! Okay. So, most people eat sweets because they think they just like sweets. Little do they know, it's not them personally that like sweets, it's the Candida virus that exists in their system that likes sweets. So, you're basically feeding the Candida virus and a lot of your nutrients that aren't getting to your body because the Candida virus is eating it. Throughout the course of my time in personal development, actually early on, I found a solution to this. It's called MSM, methyl sulfonylmethane. It's a natural sulfa. And if you take 1,000 milligrams every 12 hours, it'll kill off the Candida. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And you won't need the sugar. It'll be great. And the Candida will be dead and gone and moving on to the next life, whatever afterlife Candida would have. It's a virus, for goodness sakes. All right. And so this is where the addiction part comes in. Knowing the solution, and while the solution is yet working, I'm currently taking 1,000 milligrams of MSM every 12 hours, and my sugar craving is pretty much gone. The challenge being because of the government cheese and government peanut butter incident back when I was 8, I just can't make myself throw away food. Oh yeah, for one of those things that people didn't, in case you didn't know, cancer loves sugar. So if you have cancer, you might seriously consider changing your diet to something more bitter, like lemon water, kombucha, whatever. Oi, that is the name of that tune. All right. So, so what I'm doing here is what we call in recovery circles, outing myself. It's important for you to continue personal growth, to publicly admit when you are intentionally, on purpose, screwing up. And that's the purpose of today's video. Really, at the end of the day. Along with helping you find your way to transformationsareus.com, where you have 2 coaching sessions awaiting you, free of charge. That would normally cost you $500 each, $1,000 if you had one-on-one sessions. One coaching session on dealing with stress and traffic, and another coaching session that would help you get over your fear of public speaking, as well as making cold calls if you needed to make cold calls for a living. All right. So also, by going to transformationsrs.com, you get this lovely goal-setting technology called Lenses. Keeps you focused on what you're trying to do. It's a beautiful thing. And what do you call it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So like I say about the, at the very bottom of the page, after you get to transformationsrs.com, there are videos with different insights that I've acquired over my course of growth. And at the very bottom of the page, there's a link for you to be able to get the Magnetic Mind Masterclass, which will aid in your transformation. Oi. And, okay, I feel like the rest of it is just words now. And I've said everything I needed to say. But, oh yeah, except for this. We call the Magnetic Mind Masterclass the last personal development program that you will ever need. We call it that because it's true. We call it that because it is. It's all about taking personal responsibility, boys and girls, myself included. I do it all the time, and I'm here to help you do it also, should you choose to. And if you want help doing it, we're here for you. All right, so until next time, boys and girls, I thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Me love you long time, as they used to say in Korea. They might still be saying it today. Anyway, be well, be good. Keep stepping, keep trying, keep taking action. Keep moving forward, and as the great Zig Ziglar used to say, remember, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can learn to do it well. Until next time, bye-bye, everybody. Yeah.